Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, 2014. If you're in Midtown Manhattan today, anywhere near the east side, you already know that it's the UN General Assembly opening day. World leaders are gathered there. President Obama is going to speak this afternoon. It's going to be massive traffic gridlock as frozen zones are in place already by the Secret Service and the New York Police Department. Here's an interesting story. The United States rail operator Amtrak, which is funded by the federal government, has sued a number of its insurers for failing to fully pay approximately $500 million in losses, Amtrak says, resulted from Superstorm Sandy. They filed a lawsuit on the 17th of September in federal court in New York. At the center of the dispute is whether the losses stem from one or multiple occurrences, the same old story. The defendants include Ace, Bermuda, Arch, Aspen, Lexington, Liberty Mutual, Maiden, Partner Re, Score, Taurus, and a number of Lloyd's syndicates. Amtrak has already received interim payments of $30 million above a $10 million deductible from its primary insurers, but they say that this falls far short of the more than $270 million in claims that it's submitted so far, and the $504 million in total losses that was provided to insurers in September of last year. The defendants' adjusters told Amtrak it could get another $20 million payment if it agrees that all of the losses arose from a single occurrence. Amtrak declined to take that. They're seeking payments not just for wind damage cover, for property damage or business interruption. They're also looking to cover the cost of damage from the ongoing, quote, chemical attack to essential components of the East and North River tunnels through the Hudson. Amtrak says that a deposit of highly reactive chloride and sulfates remained in the tunnels after water was pumped out. This deposit is corroding the iron rails and steel reinforcements as well as the concrete in the tunnel. It's going to be a very interesting court case. They've demanded a jury trial. That fire in the Port of Los Angeles that raged overnight on Monday evening was finally quelled yesterday, but not before all container terminals in the Port of LA and adjacent Long Beach Harbor were shut down for most of the day. 7 of the 8 Port of Los Angeles container terminals reopened. An 8th was scheduled to restart work this morning. At the Port of Long Beach, all 6 terminals are now open. The welding accident Monday night ignited an 800-foot wharf. The twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach handle about 40% of America's import trade. The economic impact is not immediately known. The Port of Los Angeles alone handles an average of $780 million of cargo each day. U.S. regulators at the Securities and Exchange Commission are investigating whether the bond giant Pacific Investment Management Company, better known as Pimco, inaccurately values its bond holdings in a manner that may artificially boost returns on one of its biggest funds. The big fund that they're looking at is the $3.6 billion Pimco Total Return Exchange-Traded Fund. They say that that fund may have bought bonds at discounted prices and then relied on higher valuations for the assets when calculating the holdings value. This would create the appearance of a quick price gain, and the SEC may be focusing, according to the Wall Street Journal, on whether investors are getting a misleading picture of the performance of the fund. Pimco, which manages $2 trillion in assets, says that they're cooperating fully. Those U.S. and Arab coalition airstrikes that attacked the Islamic State the other day and are ongoing today, in addition to being after ISIS, were also aimed at the leadership of an unrelated cell of veterans of al-Qaeda that the White House says was plotting an imminent attack against the U.S. or Europe. The little-known group is called the Khorosan, K-H-O-R-A-S-A-N, and it's run by former Osama bin Laden lieutenants. American military and intelligence are studying damage reports. They hope that the attack may have killed the group's leader, Mushin al-Fadil. He's a one-time confidant of bin Laden. According to the United States intelligence sources, There had been a military plan to attack the Khorosan earlier this summer, but that was put on hold when ISIS action was contemplated. Officials say that the Khorosan had been in advanced planning for an attack involving a bomb that could pass undetected through airport security systems, which would have been used against the United States and Europe. Mexican insurers are beginning to count up the damage from Hurricane Odile. It's possible that, according to the Mexican Insurance Association, that claims might exceed the $900 million paid out in the wake of last year's two hurricanes, Ingrid and Manuel. Meanwhile, the situation in the Baja Peninsula in Mexico and Los Cabos remains grim. Only 19% of the people there have had their power restored. Some 27,000 people, mainly tourists, were airlifted out of the area on more than 200 special flights, but the international airport is going to remain closed until mid-October. According to the Mexican Interior Secretary, quote, not a single power pole was left standing in Los Cabos, making the return to full electrical power a daunting task. U.S. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew has delivered on his promise that the White House was going to do something to slow down the corporate practice of corporate inversions for tax purposes. Under inversion, a U.S. corporation redomesticates by merging with a smaller foreign company and then relocates its headquarters overseas to avoid IRS tax treatment. It makes for a smaller tax rate for the combined companies. 90 days ago, Lew wrote a letter to the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee urging legislative action. In about 5 weeks, there's going to be the midterm elections in the United States, so any legislative action is impossible. So the administration acted by an executive order. It's something that is a very modest step. Congress has agreed that they will probably have to address this issue when it reconvenes in January. And here's an interesting story. 4 people sustained severe burns at an explosion at an oil well in northwestern Germany. The explosion at the drilling site near the town of Oosterbroek, near the Dutch border, happened last night. 7 workers from various companies were carrying out maintenance, and 4 workers were burned quite seriously and hospitalized. Firefighters are still working to extinguish the blaze today. Germany ranks 41st in the world in oil production. I was unaware that there were oil wells in Germany, but learn something new every day. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. You can follow us on Twitter on CATEX TV. Thank you for watching.